Hello, I'm back again. This is Charlie at My Messy Fingers. I have used another collection that I had some leftovers on, and it is Graphic 45's Spring is in the Air. And most of this was done with the 8x8 pad. I had maybe two pieces that came out of some of my leftover patterns, 12x12. So what I've created here on the front is I went with a nice light background because I really wanted this card to stand out. I added some ephemera pieces. These are sticker pieces. These are all ephemera accents, and this is that card. So that's going to go here on the front. And on the butterfly, I only glued down the very center of this. I wanted the wings of the butterfly to pop up off the page. And then I've got Spring is in the Air here. I have this beautiful piece. I just love it. And I'm going to make a tuck up here in that corner. And then we've got some sticker elements here on this one. And I've got a sticker element across the top here to break up some of that blue. And then I have one of the postage stamps that's left over, and I've got some tape, and I'm going to put it up here as a tuck. When you open it up, you've got this beautiful floral piece that would make great background for a photo to go here, or a couple of them staggered. And then down here, I used a solid piece, but I accented it with one of the stickers. And then we've got this piece here. And then on the back, I went with this blue pattern. Now, there's a couple of things that I did not do on this album that I have done in the past, and that is scoring these edges, because when you get this album, you're going to find that they're flat, because you can actually take your paper clear out here if you want to, but that's not what I want. I want these scored. So I'm going to push up on those score marks, and then we're going to burnish them down, because we really want that seam to act as a hinge so that this stands up. All right. And I already did it here and here, but I did not do it to this one because, again, I wanted to show you what you need to do. So there is the deep score, and then there's a lighter score line, and that's what we're pushing up against. And we're going to get this folded over, and then we're going to burnish that. Now that piece is going to stand up, so then when this all comes together, it's going to act as a little squared up folio. Now I do need to, and I'm moving all these pieces around, and I'm going to forget what's going where. You just watch me. Okay, I've got my magnet set. Take another piece of tape, put it on the back, and then take that. Well, that's not working very well. Come on. And I'll pick that up and lay it over. And I need that to be squared up so that when I lay this over, that the magnet's in its proper place. Take that spacer out. And I'm going to add just a little bit more tape to secure that down. Okay. All right, so let's start with the front. I know that one goes there. And I know this one goes here. This is the back. This is my front, and this is my inside piece. So let's start with the front. This was such a cute, wonderful collection. And I bet some of you paper hoarders out there have some of this. And if you've got it in the 8x8s, you only need one pad. Okay, let's take this off and let's glue this down, but I will add a little extra glue. Oh, isn't that pretty? You know what? I think I'm going to use this side because the intent is you're going to put a photo here. So all of this is going to be covered up. And I really like that brightness, and it really plays off well with this. So that's what I'm going to do. I can do that, you know. Sometimes when you build these and you turn a piece of paper over, you take a second look at what you've got. Sometimes it makes sense. And I have all these other stickers and ephemera pieces. I could find something to put here. Oh, I'm so excited. I know I'm being silly. And it was really actually quite fun to cut this one. I've made several. And I didn't have big images to try to factor in. I had just some lovely colorful pieces to play with. I'm going to put this up here. And we're going to open this up. That went there. Oh, they're over here. Okay. I'm going to glue this piece down because this needs to be down here before you can close up and seal up that flap. All right, now down here, we are going to take some long strips and just in front of that score line, and I'm going to do something a little different this time with this one. Because this is a 1/4 inch and these are only 1/8 of an inch, I am going to double stack these. That way I get this, the height. Oops. No wonder that wasn't sticking. Okay. I need to save that because we're going to use that on the next one. So then when you take off this layer, throwing things at myself. Then, make sure this is standing up straight. When this leans over, it's actually leaning over correctly. So the foam is now the same height as the trimmed gusset. All right, so now we're going to go over here. let's stay here. We want to finish this up. All right, now we'll go over here. And then this little postage stamp, I put some tape on it, and I'm going to put it up here. And now you've got a tuck, but you still got a spot here to put a good photo. Now we're going to lift this up, and I am going to apply my double layer of foam on here again. Well, that's twice I've done that. I get going and I forget I've got to take the backing off. I'm asking myself, why won't that stick? Okay. I don't like wasting things, so I'm going to put that one there. And I will put that one there. And then I will cut a piece that will go right there. Then I need to finish this. And I suppose you're going, well, why didn't you do it? Well, I do silly things. I should have just ran one strip if I had done this piece first, but it's all the same amount of foam, just applied differently. Okay. All right, now this piece once again needs to go in here before we can seal this off. And based on the images, this is one of the 12 by 12s that I ended up trimming. Okay, so now we can pick these off. Okay, making sure that this stands up straight. And then lay it down, and I need to do a little bit of cosmetic surgery right here. There we go. And then we'll place this piece in. have this piece that's got to go in up here. Okay, get that all lined up there. Pull it just a little bit this way. There we go. Okay, that goes down, that closes, this closes. We're going to turn it over. Now we're going to add this to the back and we'll be done. All right, so that one's done. Got the butterfly up here. Got a tuck. I'm going to do something over here, I think. Can't do anything really permanent unless you're going to stack a couple of smaller photos here, because you have to keep in mind that you've got a magnet right here and you don't want to put too much layering over it. Then we have these nice big pockets. Okay, let's move on to the next set in this folio. And I just threw everything around. Okay, so this is a trifold. So it opens up like so. And out of a 12 by 12 or an 8 by 8, you're only going to get 2 cuts out of a 12 by 12, but it's going to take 2 sheets out of an 8 by 8 to get these cuts. So you end up actually maximizing if you're using a 12 by 12, because out of if you cut it right in half at 6 inches by 12, you're going to have these 2 cuts. Minimize your waste. And then you can have one that comes out of an 8 by 8. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these while we're in here. No, I'm not. Let me think. Hold on here. I got to put my magnets in. Put it just about there. That's my spacer. Grab some tape. And then I'm going to fold that over. And there I go. All right. Now where was I? I was putting these in. Come together so quickly. Okay, and And then this is going to close, that's going to close. I have this one out here on the front. And then out of the ephemera, there's this beautiful round floral style ephemera. And it says springtime. So I'm just gonna set it here, but I'm not gonna tack it down completely yet because I wanna get this up in here. And now where did my little ones go? Well, had some little floral I was going to put down here. I'll find them. They're floating around here somewhere. And then this, oh, there they are. See, I told you. This piece will go here. And this came out of, I can tell by the plain back on this. This was also out of the 12 by 12 patterns and solids. And I cut it in half, so it was 6 by 12. And then I used the two. Now I can stay with a plain back, or I can go with this. I'm actually liking the plain back. But if you're cutting, you're going to make one of these, you can use whichever side makes you happy. Okay, so then I had this chipboard butterfly. I'm just going to pop him right down here at the bottom. And then I had a couple of leaves that I was hoping to get up underneath there. But it's sealed already. So I'm going to play sneaky because I really would like to have these down here. Can I get up underneath there? Okay. All right, I'm going to tack right along there. Now, do I want this? And I think I'm going to put this one underneath of it. There we go. Now, I've got a lot of ephemera. I might come in and clean this one up a little bit or just leave it for a photo. But that one's now done. So now we move on to the last of the 3 folio sets. And I cut one strip. I think it goes this way. Yeah. I cut one strip that was actually this. at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. So I can get my magnet put in there. And then you got to close it up. I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to close it up, put that one down. Oh, it stayed. Ah. I am actually quite shocked, to be honest. Okay, now I can put this together. So this one, this piece, I'll go here. And then this one went in the top part. I want to make sure you're going in the right direction. Oh, I can see right now I'm about to mess up here. You see there's a perforated bottom. So if I turn this over, I want the bunnies going in the right direction. So I'm going to move things around. That one's going to go there, and then this one is going to go here in the center. So what happens is all the images end up being upside down. Unless you're real particular, you can reverse them. Oops, it goes this way. But when you're looking at it from this angle, then everything is as it should be. Now on the interior, it was this beautiful little blue design. Put some extra glue there because that magnet's raised up over the paper. There we go. This one goes in the center. And then this one goes on the bottom. Now on this one, there was a set of these things here. Wouldn't that be cute if this was a money card and money was slipped up underneath of this? So I'm just going to put a real thin bead of glue, and I'm going to bring it right to the top. There we go. And then you can slide some money up underneath there. Then I was thinking about adding this little ephemera piece right here to kind of tie it all in. right, so they're all done. And then open this up. This can tuck in over here on this side. And this one can tuck in back here. Oops. On this side. And we're finished. Hey, thank you. That for now completes my series on the Uniquely Creative Folio set. And maybe I'll have some more in the future. Until then, enjoy. Bye-bye.